ban traffic cameras in the state of Iowa. The latest signatory to that is Congressman Tom Latham, who is in studio with me. And welcome, sir, and thank you.
Thank you, Simon, and I'm proud to have signed the petition for you.
Well, we have taken advantage of you in the most horrible way. We've tweeted that out. We've tweeted a photograph of you signing it. We've tweeted out your signature, but you can rest assured we did not tweet out your address, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, you're very welcome. So yeah, I mean that is something that's going really well, and maybe we should start there because, of course, the citizens in the state of Iowa have no real method of getting anything on the ballot. I know that's kind of a state issue, but is that something you would welcome? We've seen it in other states. We've seen some funny things get on ballots, but overall, is that something you would welcome?
I think there's some merit to it. However, I really believe in the legislative process that you have elected representatives either in the local, city councils or in the state government, your county officials who are elected to make those kinds of decisions. If you don't like it, vote them out. And, I think that the system we have works pretty darn well usually.
Okay, so all that is left to us right now is to petition the governor and our senators and representatives, and I guess if they see enough signatures, they'll start thinking about their positions.
I think you'll have a big impact next year when the General Assembly meets, yes.
Well, it's going very well. If you haven't signed that petition yet, we've got them at the Crystal Studio. Also, somebody was running around with a whole bunch of them at the straw poll. I don't even know who that was, but I'm waiting for those to arrive in the mail, so that's good. The other thing we've got to talk about straight out the gate today is, of course, Iowa is in the news today. The president is here. And somebody dared to challenge him this morning, and now we're all over national news.
Well, the thing, I look at it and say, I've done well over 500 plus town hall meetings open to the public. Yep. I take questions from everybody. People get up, make statements, and that's part of the process. And if the president's actually out on a taxpayer-funded listening tour, he should be listening.
Yep.
And it's an open public debate. Now, if it's a campaign trip where you close down everybody and limit who can get in, that's another story. And then you can limit who stands up and makes statements. But, this is a taxpayer-funded trip on some apparently very nice buses that they've bought, and anyone should be able to stand up and speak their piece.
I need to correct you there, of course, because we bought them.
Right.
As
taxpayers,
we own these very nice buses.
Right.
$1.1 million a pop. That's not a bad bus. And apparently they've said today that they're going to lend one of them out to whoever the GOP nominee is ultimately. It doesn't make me feel much better about it because I'm still paying for it.
No, and if I remember, and I do remember very clearly, President Bush and other presidents that have been on bus tours, the campaigns have actually paid for their own buses, which I don't think is really something extraordinary that the campaign should have to come up with a dime for their transportation.
Well, you've said you've done about 500 of these, and you're prepared to take questions. We got somebody straight out the blocks that wants to ask you one. Is that okay?
Super.
There you go. Fred, you are on the Simon Conway Show with Congressman Tom Latham.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm great.
Yeah, I got a question about these open forum events because I'd like to actually know when Tom Latham is going to have an evening event when working people can attend where he will be there in person. Because in watching his campaign over the last
hang on. That was a question. Let's let him answer it, okay? Hang on a second.
I've had them in the past, and we expect to have them in the future. And we haven't set the schedule on town hall meetings yet, for the rest of this year. But we fully expect to have them, and they'll be publicly announced, and you can attend.
There you go. That was a straightforward answer, and I can tell you that the congressman is going to stay in the studio for a full hour today. So if you've got any more questions for him, he's going to be very pleased to take them. Right now, we're going to take a brief pause for some traffic and weather, and then we will be right back to it. 284-1040, 800-469-4295, live from the Crystal Studio at the Iowa State Fair. This is the Simon Conway Show on News Radio 1040 WHO. Simon Conway Show live from the Iowa State Fair here in the Crystal Studio, and right next to me is Congressman Tom Latham. Welcome. Well, thank you for staying there, Tom. You didn't actually go anywhere, but thank you very much for staying there. We've got more people that want to talk to you, so let's grab a couple of those. Ingrid, you're on the Simon Conway Show with Congressman Latham. Hi, Ingrid.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
Ingrid. How you doing?
I am well, thank you.
Good.
I am just calling in. I wanted to thank you for appointing my son to the Air Force Academy. He left in June for basic training, and he just started classes.
Well, I tell you, one of the greatest honors anyone can have as a member of Congress is the opportunity to make appointments to the military academies, because it is truly the finest young people we have here in the state, in your district. And it's just a real pleasure. That's the most fun phone call I get to make, is when I get to call a young person and say, you've got your appointment. So I appreciate it, and I wish him the very, very best, and God bless him in his service to the country.
Absolutely. Let me echo the last part of that, Ingrid. Please thank him for his service to our nation, and indeed thank you for letting us have him.
Well, thank you for letting me be on the air, and we're just very, very proud of our country and proud of our son.
I'm sure you are. Thank you, ma'am. Take care. Let's go to Rich. Hi, Rich. You're on the Simon Conway Show with Congressman Latham.
Hey, Simon. How's it going?
It's great.
The last couple of times the congressman's been on, I've heard Latham's seed commercial right after he's been on. Now, is that a coincidence? I mean, is he any relationship to Latham?
Well, let me tell you one thing straight away, and then the congressman can tell you another thing. The first thing is, I never know what ads are playing. I never even see what ads are playing. And in terms of who ends up on my show, that's totally up to me. I'm the one that arranges it all. But so from that point of view, there is no conspiracy. And what about that? Okay. What about the rest of it, Congressman?
Well, I sold my share of the seed company to my brother and nephew a couple years ago. I have no interest in the seed company anymore, other than I wish them the very best.
Other than your brother?
Well,
it's my brother. I have no interest in it anymore, though, myself. Okay. Yeah.
All right, Rich. Okay.
Thank you.
Got your answer. No conspiracy there.
I hope they're doing well.
I'm sure you do. 284-1040, 800-469-4295 if you want to get on the air with Congressman Latham. And actually, I just read you a great little email that we got. I read this to you in the break. It's a great email, and it says from Gabe, who says, when citizens heckle Republicans at the State House in Wisconsin, they call it democracy. When you ask tough questions of the president in Iowa, it's terrorism. Have we gone to some different place now where our First Amendment rights don't actually exist when it comes to the president of the United States?
I certainly hope not. This is a public forum, open to the public, a taxpayer-paid trip. If we can't, as American citizens, ask questions of our elected officials, we're in real trouble. And the idea of somebody calling someone a terrorist or something, I mean, we've got to tone down all this stuff. And the thing that I hear, I've been on the fairgrounds all day today, and people come up, and most of them basically say, we've got to, for the sake of this country, tone down the rhetoric. We've got to be able to find a way to get together, to actually do some positive things, to get the government under control, and make some progress, rather than all we're hearing out of Washington is all this noise, and people are just fed up. I'm fed up, and you talk about being frustrated. There's no one more frustrated than I am, because I'm there to try and get something done and have something done in a positive way. And to hear all this noise on the side just really is not constructive at all.
Didn't this really start, however, when it wasn't just this administration? This is not all at the door of the president, but they took the White House, the Senate, and the House, and then we were met with this wall of. I mean, even the president himself was often repeating when challenged, "I won." Right. I'll never forget it.
Certainly.
And within the first couple of months, we got a photograph of him wearing his shoes with his feet up on the Resolute desk. I mean, if he doesn't respect the office, it becomes very difficult for us to respect the office.
Well, exactly right. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't respect the office and respect what. I mean, to me, the greatest honor I'll ever have is to be a member of Congress, to represent Iowans in Washington, D.C. Mm-hmm. I mean, I have total respect for it. I still get chills every time I walk across the street from the office building to the Capitol, look at that dome, look at Miss Liberty sitting on top of it, and I wonder, what am I doing here? I mean, because it is such a great thing to me, and the awe that I have for what that stands for and what this country means to the rest of the world. And we've got to take it serious, folks. I mean, we're in trouble. We've got to find a way to lower the tone, get things done, because we are the beacon of hope. And Simon, you're a great example of understanding what America means to the rest of the world.
Absolutely.
And if we don't continue to be that symbol of freedom and democracy, the world's in trouble.
I agree. I do believe, unfortunately, that we as a nation are in trouble, and if we are in serious trouble, the world will follow very quickly. Let's take a couple of calls before we have to go to the bottom of the hour. Troy, you're on the Simon Conway Show with Congressman Latham.
Thanks, Simon and Congressman.
You bet.
I wanted to ask you, since most people see the economy as the biggest issue facing the country right now, and the spending seems to be out of control, and the debt limit just got raised, and a lot of people in my circle seem to oppose that. And you and Congressman Boswell, your likely opponent next time you run for re-election, both voted against raising the debt limit. How do you plan to differentiate yourself from him?
Okay, Troy, thank you.
Well, that's a great question. I think you'll have to look at some of the votes that were taken. I voted for the cut, cap, and balance, which would actually cut spending immediately, cap long-term spending, and have a balanced budget amendment to the Constitution. Mr. Boswell voted against that. Mr. Boswell did vote for Harry Reid's proposal, which basically cut $1 trillion of money that's never going to be spent. So basically, I mean, that will never be requested, will never be spent, but they tried to count that as savings with us backing out, or when we are pulled down from Iraq and Afghanistan, counting those savings as some kind of a cut when it was never going to be requested in the first place. So he basically, in that case, voted for something that wasn't real. I think what I voted for was real and what actually is the long-term solution as far as balancing the budget. That's what we've got to have as an amendment to the Constitution long-term, so we don't continue to be in this kind of mess, because it's about saving the country for our kids and our grandchildren.
We're going to talk about balancing the budget when we come back. If you're on the phone, please stay there. Let's see who we've got. We've got Jim, and Doug. You guys, if you've got patience, I promise you you're going to get on with the Congressman. 284-1040, 800-469-4295, live from the Crystal Studio here at the Iowa State Fair. This is the Simon Conway Show, News Radio 1040 WHO.